You probably think you're a respectful cruise guest. You tip, you smile, you don't throw wild parties in your room. But guess what? Even the nicest passengers make mistakes that drive cabin stewards crazy. Behind their polite smiles, there's a secret list. 14 things cruise guests do that make their job way harder. And most of the time, those guests have no idea they're doing anything wrong. From the way you treat towels to one tiny habit that causes entire hallway floods, this is the stuff that turns a steward's day into a nightmare. And wait until you hear number 1. It's a common mistake that even seasoned cruisers make, and it instantly gets you labeled as a difficult guest, even when you think you're being helpful. Trust me, you don't want to be that person. Before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss cruise tips that could save your trip or someone else's sanity. Now let's count down the 14 things cruise stewards secretly wish you'd stop doing. 14. Leaving wet clothes in weird places. You just came back from the pool and your swimsuit is soaked. You don't want to get the bed wet, so you toss it onto the chair, or hang it over the balcony, or lay it across the carpet. Seems harmless, right? Wrong. That innocent little swimsuit can create a major problem for your cabin steward. Balcony rails aren't for drying clothes. When water drips down, it often lands on the balconies below. Some guests have even gotten complaints from people 2 decks down about soggy swimsuits landing on their furniture. And when you hang wet clothes over chairs, lamps, or dressers, the fabric stays damp for hours, leaving mildew smells or staining surfaces. Worst of all, wet items on carpet can soak through and cause water damage that's a nightmare to clean and repair. Your steward has to fix the mess while also avoiding damage charges or guest complaints. Instead, use the bathroom clothesline or hang items in the shower area. If something's too wet to hang indoors, use a towel to dry it off first. Don't turn your cabin into a humid jungle. It's making cleaning twice as hard, and it's not fun for anyone walking into a room that smells like damp socks. 13. Turning the bathroom floor into a splash zone. Here's something you probably don't think twice about: taking a long, hot shower after a fun beach day. But what many guests don't realize is how quickly a cruise bathroom turns into a slip and slide when you're not careful. Water from the shower spills over onto the tile floor, soaking towels, running under the sink, and sometimes even leaking out into the hallway carpet. Yes, that happens more than you'd believe. It only takes one poorly placed curtain or an extra long rinse for water to go everywhere. And guess who has to mop it all up? Your cabin steward. If it's bad enough, they also have to report it to maintenance, especially if it starts affecting other cabins. Some passengers think it's fine to throw down a towel to soak it up and leave it, but those soggy towels are heavy, messy, and take time to clean properly. Worse, the constant moisture can cause mold in the walls or under floorboards. So what's the fix? Close the shower curtain all the way. Don't aim the water straight out, and if you make a mess, at least mention it. That way it can be cleaned up before it becomes a bigger problem for everyone. 12. Turning the steward into room service. Cabin stewards are there to clean, restock, and keep your cabin fresh, but some guests treat them like personal assistants or room service attendants. Can you get me ice? I need more sugar packets. Can you go find my kid's water bottle? One guest even asked a steward to go buy them toothpaste at the next port. These kinds of requests might seem small, but they're actually outside the steward's job. Cruise ships have different departments for a reason, and stewards already have a heavy load, often cleaning over 20 cabins per day with strict time limits. When you stop them in the hallway or leave multiple notes asking for odd favors, you're slowing down their whole schedule. That can make other guests wait longer for their rooms, and it puts more pressure on the entire cleaning team. If you need room service, call room service. If something is missing or broken, guest services can help. Cabin stewards are happy to help when it's part of their job, but when they're expected to do everything, it's exhausting. Treat them like the professionals they are, not personal butlers. A little respect for boundaries goes a long way.
And they'll appreciate it more than you know. Number 11. Folding used towels like they're clean. This one happens all the time, and it usually comes from guests trying to be tidy. You use a towel, then carefully fold it and hang it back up because you don't want to be wasteful. But here's the problem. Once that towel is folded and put back, your cabin steward has no idea if it's been used or not, so they leave it. And the next day, guess what? You might be wiping your face with the same towel that dried your feet yesterday. It sounds gross because it is. Cruise stewards are trained to check towel use, but they're not mind readers. Folded towels equal clean towels in their system. The best thing you can do? If you used it, even once, toss it on the bathroom floor or in the tub. That's the universal crew signal for "this is dirty." You won't offend anyone. In fact, your steward will be thankful they don't have to play detective. And you'll avoid the uncomfortable situation of realizing your towel smells a little too familiar. Help them help you. Just don't fold up that armpit towel like it's fresh from the spa. Number 10. Piling random trash into drawers and closets. We get it. Cruise cabins are small, and trash cans are even smaller. But please, whatever you do, don't treat the drawers, closets, or side tables like a garbage bin. Stewards regularly open drawers only to find wadded tissues, snack wrappers, used straws, broken sunglasses, or worse, half-melted chocolate. One steward even found a slice of pizza in a closet. And no, they're not laughing about it later. They're usually disgusted and frustrated. This kind of hidden trash creates hygiene problems, especially when it starts to smell or leak. It also wastes a ton of time during cleaning because stewards now have to double-check every drawer, every shelf, every corner. And if anything damages the surfaces, like melted candy or leaking bottles, someone's getting charged. Want to avoid that? Just use the trash bin and ask for it to be emptied more often if you need. If something doesn't fit, leave it visible with a note. Don't turn your cruise cabin into a treasure hunt of leftover junk. It's not fair to your steward, and it definitely won't earn you any extra towel animals. Number 8. Ignoring the Do Not Disturb sign rules. You're heading off to explore the port and want to make sure no one disturbs your room while you're gone. So you hang the Do Not Disturb sign just in case. Sounds reasonable, right? The problem is your steward now can't touch the room at all. Not even to make the bed, replace towels, or take out the trash. Even if they saw you leave hours ago, that sign is a hard stop. They're not allowed to enter for any reason. Later, you return to your cabin and wonder why it hasn't been cleaned. You might even call the front desk to complain. But you told them not to come in. This creates stress for the crew, delays their entire cleaning route, and sometimes gets them in trouble for simply following the rules. If you want privacy, that's okay. But don't be surprised if the room looks exactly how you left it. And if you change your mind, just remove the sign before leaving next time. It's a simple step, but it makes a big difference. Your steward's job depends on timing, access, and knowing when they can safely enter. The D&D sign takes that away entirely, even when you didn't mean to. Number 8. Moving the furniture around like it's a living room makeover. It might seem like no big deal to push the chairs closer to the balcony or slide the beds together for more space. But moving furniture in a cruise cabin is a huge headache for stewards. The layout of a room is designed for safety, balance, and efficiency. When guests rearrange things, it messes with that system completely. Heavy items like beds or sofas can damage the floor, especially when dragged across the carpet. Some passengers have even hurt themselves trying to lift or shove furniture into new spots. Then stewards have to move everything back, sometimes multiple times during the cruise, and check for damage that wasn't there before. Plus, if safety inspectors or supervisors walk into a rearranged room, the steward gets blamed for it. Even worse, fire codes require certain items to stay exactly where they are, like lamps and tables near outlets. Shifting things around might actually break those rules. So, even if you're trying to make the space feel more homey, leave the big items where they are. If you need something changed for medical reasons or sleeping arrangements, just ask. Someone from housekeeping will do it the right way. But turning your cabin into a DIY project? Big no.
Number 7. Leaving personal items all over the bed. Beds are not just for sleeping. They're also where stewards fold towels, arrange fresh linens, and sometimes leave important notices or gifts like chocolate or welcome letters. But when guests cover the entire bed with their personal stuff, clothes, electronics, cords, bags, books, it makes the steward's job much harder. They're not supposed to move your things unless absolutely necessary, and many are trained not to touch personal electronics at all. So if the bed is covered in clutter, they'll often skip making it entirely. That means you'll come back to an unmade bed, not because your steward forgot, but because they didn't want to risk touching your belongings. This creates awkward situations where guests complain, not realizing they were the ones who made the bed untouchable. The fix is simple. Before leaving your cabin for the day, just clear off the bed. Toss items into the closet or place them on a chair. It only takes a minute, but it lets your steward do their job without stress or confusion. They want to make your room look nice. It's part of the experience. Don't turn the bed into a no-go zone that throws off their whole routine. Number 6. Using every towel like it's a free laundry service. Cruise ships offer fresh towels daily, but that doesn't mean they expect you to go through 5 or 6 every single day. Some passengers use a different towel for their hands, face, feet, body, sunbathing, and even cleaning off shoes. Others grab beach towels and leave them on the balcony or forget them entirely at the pool. All of this creates a ton of extra laundry that adds pressure to the ship's limited cleaning system. Stewards already work on a tight schedule with limited supplies, and when one cabin suddenly needs double or triple the towels, it throws off the entire process. The laundry crew behind the scenes feels it too, especially when it comes to drying and folding massive amounts of bulky towels. Of course, you're welcome to use what you need, but be mindful. Reuse a body towel if it's still clean, and don't treat beach towels like disposable freebies. If you need extras, ask politely, and only take what you'll actually use. Being thoughtful with towel use helps the whole system run more smoothly, and your steward will silently thank you for not turning the bathroom into a laundry explosion every single day. Number 5. Letting your alarm clock or phone blast when you're gone. This one doesn't sound like a big deal until you're the one hearing it for 6 hours straight. Some guests set a phone alarm or a travel clock and then head out for the day, forgetting it's still on. That constant beeping, buzzing, or blaring ringtone drives nearby guests nuts. But guess who hears it the most? The cabin steward. They have to clean around the noise, answer complaints, and sometimes even call security to gain access and stop the sound. In some cases, guests have left loud music playing while out all day, thinking it'll deter theft or just set a vibe. But you're not home. You're on a ship with thin walls and a tight schedule. Noise like that affects everyone, including the hardworking crew. If you need an alarm, use a vibration setting or make sure to turn it off before leaving. And please don't treat your cabin like your personal DJ booth while you're gone. No one wants to hear Baby Shark on repeat echoing down the hallway, especially not your steward trying to finish their rounds in peace. Number 4. Bringing sand and dirt into the room like a souvenir. A day at the beach is great, but when you bring half the shoreline back with you, your steward definitely notices. Sand in the carpet, in the bathroom, on the bed, it ends up everywhere. Vacuuming it out of the floor is tough, and those little grains scratch surfaces or clog cleaning tools. Even worse, some guests rinse off sandy shoes or toys in the bathroom or tub, which causes clogs and nasty backups. Once that sand starts traveling through the plumbing or sticks to wet towels, it's a nightmare to remove. Cabin stewards already have tight cleaning windows and limited equipment, so when dealing with unexpected beach mess can throw off their whole routine. What helps? Shake out everything before coming back on board. Use the outdoor rinse stations if the ship provides them. Knock off your shoes, empty your bags, and wipe your feet before entering the room. A simple beach towel on the floor near the door can also trap sand before it spreads. Being mindful of what you're tracking in makes the cabin more pleasant for you and way less stressful for the person cleaning it up.
3. Leaving the safe locked after you disembark. It happens more often than you'd think. Guests leave the ship, bags in hand, and head home, only for the steward to discover the cabin's safe is still locked. Whether it's an accident or forgetfulness, it becomes a big issue. Stewards aren't allowed to open safes themselves, so now they have to call security, fill out reports, and delay the cleaning process for that room. Sometimes entire cleaning shifts are held up waiting for clearance. And the worst part? Most of the time, the safe is empty. People forget to unlock it, even if there's nothing inside, and it just creates unnecessary delays. But if something is in there, like passports, jewelry, or even medications, it now has to be cataloged and shipped back, which takes days and creates tons of paperwork. Want to make your steward's day easier? Unlock and double-check the safe before you leave. Even if you didn't use it, open it up. It's a small action that saves time, stress, and a whole lot of follow-up work for someone who's already working hard to reset your room for the next guest. 2. Trying to hide a DIY cocktail mess. You snuck a little bottle of rum on board. No big deal, right? Then maybe you decided to mix your own drinks in the cabin with soda from the buffet. It feels fun and harmless until you spill something on the carpet or knock over a glass that wasn't meant for alcohol. Rather than report the mess, many guests try to cover it up. They'll flip a rug, throw down a towel, or just pretend it didn't happen. The problem is, spills that involve alcohol are much harder to clean. They leave sticky spots, strong smells, and even attract bugs. If the drink contains sugar or mixers, it can stain furniture or warp wood. And when stewards find the mess later, they're stuck dealing with it without knowing what was spilled. That makes it take longer, and in some cases they have to report it to supervisors. It's better to be honest. A simple heads up allows the crew to clean it properly and quickly. They won't scold you, they've seen everything. But trying to hide a sticky drink mess only makes you look sneaky, and it adds more stress to the people trying to keep your space nice. 1. Pretending the room is cleaner than it is. This one's tricky because it usually comes from a good place. Guests want to be polite, so they say, "Don't worry, the room's fine," or "You don't have to clean today." But often they're saying this while the trash can is overflowing, towels are wet on the floor, and the bathroom smells like sunscreen and seawater. Your steward wants to help you, but they can't if you insist that everything's okay when it clearly isn't. This behavior puts them in a tough spot. They either clean against your wishes and risk upsetting you, or they back off and get blamed for poor service. The result? No one wins. If you need privacy, that's totally fine. Just be honest. Say, "I'd like some space today, but could you swing by later for the bathroom?" Or, "Can you just do towels today?" That way, the steward knows exactly what's expected and can plan accordingly. Saying everything's fine when it's not doesn't make their job easier. It just adds confusion and stress. They're not judging your mess. They just want clear, honest communication so they can give you the best service possible. At the end of the day, your cabin steward isn't just someone who changes your sheets. They're the reason your cruise feels relaxing and smooth. A little thoughtfulness goes a long way. By avoiding these common mistakes, you'll not only make their job easier, but you'll also get better service, a cleaner cabin, and maybe even an extra animal or two. So next time you sail, remember, kindness and awareness are the best tips you can give. Safe travels and happy cruising!